Good evening to one and all. Welcome you all to the Daily Indian Express newspaper analysis for the date 9th to 12th April 2024, brought to you by Ganesh Academy. Okay, let's get into the today's newspaper analysis. Mentioned here are the list of articles which we are going to have the analysis in the upcoming slides. So have a look into it. So these are all the important articles which we are going to have the analysis in the upcoming slides. Okay, let's analyze every article one by one. Adjudicating authority. So the news is related to the recent filing of cases in National Herald by the Enforcement Directorate. So because of this, the adjudicating authority is been in news, and that is the reason why it has become a important topic in the today's newspaper. So okay, let's look into what is this adjudicating authority and why it has appeared into newspaper and what are all the important things with regards to the adjudicating authority is. Okay, let's look into how the news has been related with examination. Under prelims, the news is related to Indian polity and governance constitution. Similarly, under mains, it has been related with GS paper 2 through a major topic called statutory, regulatory and various quasi-judicial bodies. So this is how the news has been related with examination. So let's look into the details of the news. Adjudicating authority under PMLA Act has confirmed the attachment of asset worth 751.9 crores of National Herald newspaper. The ED has provisionally attached these properties in November 23 in a case against Associated Journal Limited that publishes the National Herald versus Herald and the Young India newspaper. So this is what the news is about. So let's look into what does this adjudicating authority is. So under section 5A of the PMLA Act, which provides for attachment of the properties that is suspected to have acquired with the proceeds of crime. So the attachment order is issued by the ED director if he or she thinks such proceeds of crime likely to be concealed, transferred or dealt with any manner that may result in frustrating the proceedings. So he or she could order the confiscating of the properties. So the provisional attachment orders must be confirmed within 180 days by the adjudicating authorities. So which is the deciding authority with regards to the decisions that has been made by the administrative executives. And this order need to be approved by the adjudicating authority within 180 days. And if the accused is not happy with the decision by the adjudicating authority, means he or she could apply for the appellate tribunal. Even after applying to the appellate tribunal, if he or she is not satisfied with the decision of the appellate tribunal, means he or she could approach the High Court. So this is what the procedure with regards to the decisions that has been made by to appeal against the decision that has been made by the Enforcement Directorate. So what happens after? So the accused, this is what I have explained. So the accused can challenge the confirmation orders at the PMLA within the 41 days after the decision that has been confirmed by the adjudicating authority in the appellate tribunal. If it's unsuccessful even after the appellate tribunal, means he or she can able to move to the High Court. So unless the property is released along the way, it remains out of the bounds of the owner until the trial gets end. So attached properties may locked for years and start to decay as well as crumble. So these properties may lose its value over the period of times because of the value that has been attached with it. So the attached, for example, the attached vehicles which has been seized by the Enforcement Directorate will be sent to the warehouse that has been owned by Central Warehouse of India, and the parking fees will also be paid by Enforcement Directorate to this warehouse corporation. And after some point of time, the vehicles will also get rot and they will also be losing their value. So at the end of the day, the ED will be ending up with paying more parking rent than the value that it could derive from those vehicles. So this is what the thing with regards to the properties or the impact of the properties that has been attached in the cases with regards to the Enforcement Directorate is about. So this is what the news is about. Let's look into what are all the things which we needed to be further aware of? We should be aware of National Investigating Agency. So what is National Investigating Agency? What are its objectives, structure, as well as the function? Secondly, we should be aware of UPA Act, and thirdly, we should also be aware of the world as experienced during the 2023. So this is what the news is about. Before that, let's look into, before going into the analysis of the news, let's look into the linkage of the news with the examination. Under prelims, the news is related to economic and social development. Similarly, under mains, it has been related with Indian economy and issues relating to planning, mobilization of resource, growth, development, and employment. So this is how the news has been related with the examination. Okay, let's look into the explanation part of the news. So the global trade volumes are expected to get back on the growth phase as the consumption demand will be picking up in the upcoming year. So WTO has lowered its forecast for the growth in 2024 for the world merchandise trade to 2.6% from the 3.3% due to the impact of the contraction in terms of merchandise trade that was happened during 2023. So the spillover effect is also being seen in will also be seen in this year. So this is what the prediction or the estimation that has been made by WTO. The inflationary pressure are expected to cool down in the upcoming months, as a result of which the income growth will be there, which in turn will be leading to increased consumption expenditure, thereby kicking off the economic cycle. So this is what the thing with regards to the WTO data is about. And apart from it, WTO has also forecasted 3.3% growth in the trade in 2025. So the next year. So if the forecast is being realized, means the Asia will be will make a bigger contribution to trade volume in 2024 and 2025. In value terms, world trade last year fell 5% in 2023 to that is, in value terms, it is 24.01 trillion. But this decline was offset by the trade in service. That is, it has experienced the growth of 9%. In value terms, it has experienced the growth to $7.442 trillion. So this is what the pictures with regards to the trade in goods as well as service at the global level is about, and this is what the estimation that has been made by WTO for the 2024 and the 2025 year. So okay, let's look into what is this World Trade Organization is. So what is actually the World Trade Organization is? So it is the only global international organization dealing with the rules of trade between different nations. The goal is to help the producers of the goods and services, exporters and importers to conduct their business seamlessly, regardless of the rules, multiple rules that has been available present in the different countries or different geographical location. WTO is the forum for government to negotiate the trade agreement, and it also a place for them to settle the trade disputes. And it was created by Uruguay round negotiations that has happened between 1986 to 1994, and it's headquartered in Geneva. So this is what the World Trade Organization is about. So what function does the WTO carries? So it will be administering the trade agreement, and it will act as the forum to trade negotiation, and it will settle the trade disputes, and it will be reviewing the national trade policies, and it will be building the trade capacities of the developing economies. So in order to ensure, its main goal is to have a seamless flow of trade between different countries. So basically, it is acting as the linking pin for the economic integration of different countries, which is carrying the import and exports of goods and service from other countries. So this is what the thing with regards to the WTO and the function of WTO is about. So what structure does it carry? So WTO is as 164 members, which is accounting for 98% of world trade, and the decisions that are made by the entire members, and the decisions are made through consensus only. If there is any disagreement that is happening by one country also, means then the decision will not hold. And the top decision making body is the ministerial conference, which will be meeting every 2 years, and this is what the structure of the WTO will be looking like. So at the top, it is the ministerial conference, which is the highest decision making authority, and in middle it is the dispute settlement body, general council, as well as the trade policy body, which will be which are having their own function respectively. And below them, it is the committee of T&D and T&E, Goods Council, IP Council, that is Intellectual Property Council, and the Service Council. So this is what the hierarchy the WTO has. And in that, Ministerial Conference is occupying the topmost authority in terms of the decision that has been made by WTO. So this is what the thing with regards to the data that has been brought out by the WTO is about, and what actually the WTO is about, and what is the function as well as structure it is carrying. So this is what the analysis of the news is about, and what are the things which we needed to be further aware of us. We should be aware of what is United Nations Organization, and what are all the sub organizations that are coming under it, and what are all the objectives under which it has been formed. Secondly, we should also be aware of what is World Bank, what is IMF, what are the important structure, function as well as the objective of it. Thirdly, we should also be aware of the India's trade policy. So these are all the things which we needed to be further aware of, and with this we have reached the end of this topic. Train to fly at 140 km/h at night to save the lines from collision death. So basically, the Gujarat Forest Department is trying to reduce the speed of the trains that are passing through the hotspot of the lions areas. Hotspot means the areas where the movement of the lion is very high. So this is what the news is about. Let's look into the link of the news with the examination. Under prelims, the news is related to general issues for environmental ecology, biodiversity, and climate change that doesn't require any kind of subject specialization. Secondly, under means it has been related with conservation, environmental pollution, degradation, as well as environmental impact assessment. So this is how the news has been related with examination. So what are the things which we needed to be? So before that, let's look into the analysis of the news. That is the explanation part of the news. Gujarat Forest Department, as I said, has framed the protocol to reduce the speed of the train by 240 km/h on the busy Pipavav Surendranagar rail line. So this is the Pipavav Surendranagar railway track is operated by Pipavav Railway Corporation Limited, and is the lifeline for the Pipavav port, where the majority of the goods train will be passing through. And it witnesses a few dozen, as I said, few dozen of goods train. Most of them are a few dozen of train, in which most of them are goods train, so that they are moving across the railway line seamlessly. And it could reduce if the protocol is going to get implemented, means it will be reducing the lines death by 60 to 70%. That was the estimation made by the Forest Department as well as the railway officials. Recently, 7 lines has died between July 23 to Jan 24 time period, and this line has been dead by the hit by the train, so which is passing through this line. So this is what the news is about. Let's look into the further analysis of the news. Before that, let's look into what is this Pipavav port is about. It is India's second port in the private sector after the Mundra port, which is also present in Gujarat. So ports that is present on the western coast of India for containers, bulk as well as liquid cargo. It leads lead promoter is APM Terminal, one of the largest container terminal operator in the world, and Port Pipavav is located in Rajula, Saurashtra, which is in Gujarat, which is at the distance of 90 km south of Amreli, and it has the natural breakwater that is facing the wharves called Shialbat Island. So this is what the characteristic or the details of the Pipavav port is about. So let's look into what is actually the Asiatic line is about. So it is Asiatic lines whose only population is surviving in the Gir forest, which is present in Gujarat, and other protected Gir forest, and also in the other surrounding areas like Junagadh, Amreli, Gir, Somnath, Bhavnagar district which is also present in the Gujarat region. And many lines have settled in the coastal belt of Rajula with the thicket of Gandobaval. So this is what the geographical location of the Asiatic line is about, and majority of the Asiatic line is present in the Gir region. So their survival is very important for the healthy ecosystem of those regions. So in order to increase their survival rate and to reduce the death of these lines that has been hit by the train, the decision that has been made by the forest officials as well as the railway officials to reduce the speed of the train that is passing through the railway line. So this is what the news is about. Let's look into what are all the things which we needed to be further aware of? First, we should be aware of the ports in India. What are all the different types of ports that is available in India and their geographical position of it. And secondly, we should also be aware of the entire geography of the Gujarat itself. What are all the different types of national park, wildlife sanctuary, and what is the soil and what type of climate that is present in the Gujarat should be looked into. Thirdly, we should also be aware of what is human wildlife conflict and what is the reason for human wildlife conflict and what is the conservation strategy that has been made by forest officials as well as the other government officials with regards to saving the wildlife. So this is what the thing with regards to the news is about, and this is about the thing which we needed to be further aware of. And with this, we have reached the end of this topic. NBFC's co-lending book set to touch the 1 lakh crore in the upcoming months. So this is what the news is about. So the news is related to non-banking finance companies co-lending. Okay, let's look into the linkage of the news with the examination. Under prelims, the news is related to economic and social development. Similarly, under mains, it has been related with GS paper 3 through a major topic called economic and development, under which a subtopic called Indian economy and issues relating to planning, mobilization of resource, growth, development and employment. So this is how the news has been related with examination. So 5 years after the launch, the co-lending book of the NBFC is expected to reach 1 lakh in the by June 24. That is in the upcoming months, as I said. So over the medium term, the growth momentum is going to be healthy at the range of 35 to 40% annually amidst the rising interest of partners. So this is what the details or the news that information of the news that has appeared in today's newspaper. Okay, what is the thing which we needed to be further aware of? That is, apart from this details of the news, what we should be aware of is we should be aware of what is actually co-lending. So banks are permitted to co-lend with all the registered NBFCs. So this is what the concept of co-lending is about. The co-lending banks will take their share of individual loans on back-to-back basis in their books. Thirdly, 2018 RBI has announced the important details or the protocols with regards to the co-lending mechanism. So how the co-lending need to be carried forward by the banks as well as NBFCs, and who are all the important stakeholders and what percentage the particular stakeholder will be having. Such kind of important guidelines was given by RBI during 2018. So in that, RBI has said NBFCs shall require to retain a minimum of 20% share of the individual loans on their book. So RBI has allowed greater flexibility so that NBFCs as well as banks can combinedly within the bounds of rules can innovate in terms of delivering their loans to the common people or the common sectors or the priority sectors. The risk and the rewards of the co-lending will be shared among the borrowers to the extent of their individual exposure. So this is what the actual co-lending is about. And what is the structure of the co-lending? It has two types of structure. So a co-lending partner banks can choose either one of it. That is, the first one is pre-disposal contribution, in that to take a loan under a mechanism for ex-ante due diligence. The second type of the second part is the post-disposal takeover. In that the bank share in the loan, the bank share on the loan will be recorded on back-to-back basis. So these are all the two types of structure that is available. The co-lending banks or the stakeholders, those who are involved in the co-lending, will be deciding to implement either one of this structure in as a part of their co-lending agreement. So this is what the co-lending is about, and the structure of co-lending is. So what significance does it hold? First and foremost it will enhance the collaborative effort, which in turn will be leading to increased innovation, increased management, best management practices, so on and so forth, in terms of delivering loan to the common sectors or the priority sectors or the common people in India. Secondly, it will be reducing the interest rate with regards to the loans that has been availed by the priority sectors. Thirdly, it is advantage to the economically weaker section of the people, those who are living in this society, and it ensures the last mile banking services. So certain banks could not able to reach a particular geographical location because of several administrative as well as other geographical cultural constraints, but another NBFCs could able to reach. In that scenario, that NBFC and this banks which could not able to reach that particular geographical location can combine to lend their loan to the particular community or the region that is present. So this is what the significance the co-lending has. And what are the things which we needed to be further aware of is we should be aware of what is actually bank is and what is a non-banking finance company is, under which statutory act does it comes, and what is the difference between both of them. Secondly, we should also be aware of what is cooperative society and what statutory mechanism constitutes cooperative society. Thirdly, we should also be aware of what is payment banks and what is small finance banks and what is the difference between both of them. So these are all the things which we needed to be further aware of, and with this we have reached the end of this topics. Okay, let's move on to today's practice prelims question. Mentioned here is the today's practice prelims question. So those students, those who are watching this session online, please do comment the option point for the question which you are seeing right now on the board. So with this, we have reached the end of today's session. So do like, share, comment as well as subscribe Ganesh YouTube channel, so that you will be receiving daily current affairs session notification and also weekly environmental, science and tech as well as environmental current affairs notification, and also that any other important current affairs sessions or the exam related session that will be brought in the future by Ganesh Academy. Thank you.